folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Not All Robots, Issue 1 by Upshot. Now, there is mass murder, blood a little bit, I suppose some violence, though we don't see it, robots, and dystopian world in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, so here you see the people. I don't recognize anyone from here. I don't think I've heard of these guys. But yeah, here they are. Although actually, no way. Mike Diodato I might have heard of. I don't know if Junior, but I've heard the name Mike Diodato. So yeah, so there's that one. But yeah, that's it. Other than that, no idea. Okay. Now, I've got this comic last year in 2021. Well, last a month, obviously, but we're now at, today is the 6th of December, 2022, and I'm only now reading this. Just so you know how long it takes me. But hey, I'm getting better. I'm reading through my comics. But yeah, I finally read this one. As you can see, we have Watson again. Watson, no. I have a feeling he's going to appear on a lot of my videos. I have to stop just writing featuring Watson at some point. Isn't that right, my little asshole? It is what it is. Just let him sit there. Where was I? You're distracting me again. Yeah, so finally now I've actually read this one. Just so you get it, a trade already came out by the time I got to this. Yeah, which is a good thing. Alright, let's start. So this is a futuristic dystopian kind of story. We start with, we see that now humanity are living in bubble cities. I don't know how many bubble cities there are. The only two we see are Orlando and Atlanta. So I guess this is in the US. It's unclear if the whole world is like this, but I would assume yes. There has been mass destruction, and the way the world works now is humans live in bubble cities and robots are in charge, basically. Almost. Well, not almost, but yeah, they're in charge entirely of everything. Every family or I don't know if let's say you're single, you get a house bought. Then the house bought goes to work and well, that's it. I don't think they clean and cook for you, though. I don't know. We only see one family currently. But yes, every family has a house bot. So we see the bubble cities, and then it moves on to a talk show called Talking Bot, where we have a robot debating a lady. A robot debating a human lady. She's a token human, as they call her. Debating, if robots are, not if robots are good, but, what's happening between human and robots, because robots have almost all the control, basically. Humans don't go to work, the robots like, we're good for you, thanks to us, you don't have to work, you can just relax, we're the ones who have to work, we do everything, we make sure you have cozy cities to live in, and, you left to your own devices, you caused the destruction of the world. So pretty much the standard shit, yeah? Humans are bad, they destroyed stuff, now this is the dystopia. Pretty standard for the most part. Though based on other sci-fis I've seen. Yes, anyway. That's the story. So while this talk show is going, we move into our family, the Walters. Was it the Walters? Let me just check. Don't want to edit it later. Yeah, I think our family's the Walters. Yeah, the Walters. So the Walters, we have the wife. I don't know their name. We only hear Donnie's name. That's the father. Like, the names are written on pictures, but fuck me, I can't I don't really know what the wife's name is. Never mind. The Walters. So we have the Walters. There's the wife here. That's the dad down there. Let me bring that closer. I didn't even notice where the dad was. I thought it was only the wife and 2 kids. But there's the dad. There's the daughter. There's the son. Right here. And there's the mom. So yeah, they're not... I mean, that's the family. The mom's cooking, made dinner. She's calling everyone to the table. And they're, again, talking about their housebot, Razorball. His name is... Razorball? I'll leave his name up here. Razorball, the son says, he looks at me like I'm a broken faucet. The wife says he doesn't like it here. Maybe we should talk to someone. The dad gets all angry and defensive. He's like, well, maybe if he had a family that actually loved him, it wouldn't be like this. Because their housebot, Razorball, goes to the garage every night when he comes back from work and just spends his time there. I suppose maybe he's meant to communicate with them somehow. It's very weird there. Like, I don't know what the dynamic is supposed to be. Is he supposed to sit, have dinner with them, be like a family member? Why is he called a housebot then? I don't know. But yeah, the dad gets all angry, but then they're talking about, it's like, here he is. The robot comes home. Razorball's like, the dad's like, how was work, Razorball? And he says the same, kind of, and then goes again into the garage. And then the daughter's like, same thing. And like, here we go again. And the dad then yells, if you all need to get off his back and appreciate him. Because before they eat, the dad prays, and he says thank you to Razorball. Basically, the dad's a total pussy. Or cock, whatever you prefer. But yeah, he's totally whooped by the robot, that is. I mean, I can't fathom enjoying having nothing to do. I mean, I don't know. It looks like they can go outside if they want to, but are they not... I don't know if they're allowed to work. I'm surprised he's happy just sitting at home and not working. Now, granted, we don't see, maybe they do other stuff. We don't see it in this issue, the first one, but I don't know, I can't fathom it just having, yeah. Anyway, the dad yells it, and then we go on to the next day, and that's where we see all the names and everything. I hate that they always put it somewhere else. Some put it, 4 pages in, others put names in the beginning. I've had a comic where some names are in the beginning, some at the end. Just pick one place, please. It's confusing the fuck. Yes, anyway, the next day, we see Razorball go to his place of work. He works in a factory, or a company called Mandroids. You can guess by the name what they do. They make all sorts of, I guess they make the next robots, kind of. He goes and we see his co-worker who's called Kilroy. Jesus. Yes, Kilroy. So Kilroy's an asshole. He's more of the, destroy all humans kind of guy. The kind of robot, sorry. He's like, Razorball's miserable in the family, yeah? He's like, I don't know how to talk to them. All they do is ask me about my work. Which, to be fair, only the dad seems to ask him. The kids and the wife don't seem to. Fuck, if anything, I'd say the wife cares more about him than the husband. Because he's just, I don't know, thrilled with the situation. Doesn't mind it at all. Happy and, I don't know, maybe he can't see that the robot's miserable. But the wife can, for sure. And he because, she suggests, let's talk to someone. He said, don't you dare. But yes, he's miserable. He's miserable at work, but then when he gets off work, he's miserable at home. You can't win. And then they see Orlando, the Orlando Bubble City, how everyone's there. And then Kilroy tells him, you need to disable your empathy chip. Then everything's gonna be fine. Okay? Yes, Kilroy's name fits him perfectly, don't you think? Then we move on. We get a little section from the Orlando Bubble City, where there's a haunted house in there, and they changed the air in there was different purposefully, and people complained it wasn't pleasant. Because they have synthesized air there in the cities. So then the robot in charge of it needs to fix that. But he's just a head attached to a machine. And then they get another robot to encourage him to work, and he does that by beating him over with a broom. So much for these robots being advanced, eh? Yeah, we get that little section. But then we have Razorball goes and gives some scientists a tour of the factory, where we see the next line of robots, the mandroids. But they only have bodies, and they don't have heads. And he says the heads will be customizable, and they'll be like the next thing. So they'll look more human and make the people feel more comfortable. Which, personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable with either one version of these fuckers. I mean, this fucker is scary. A humanoid one would be scary just as much. But yes, so he shows them, and one scientist lady's like, I can't wait to have my own. And, then that's it. We move on to the, is there something in the middle of that? No. No, this is the section with Orlando. Then we have, we see the mom of the family, Mrs. Walters, go to Inhuman Resources to talk about Razorball. Oh yeah, but before that is a little, I don't know, that's later, sorry. Yeah, she goes to, actually in the middle of that we go back into the talk show, where the lady and, Watson, you're behaving. Where the lady and the robot continue talking, and then she tells him, yes, let's agree you wouldn't exist without us as much as we wouldn't exist without you. And, we need to find something that's comfortable for everyone. And the robot's like, well, scandalous, you want to get rid of us? And she says, no, but what about your instability? So apparently some robots have been becoming unstable and hurting their families, the human families they're with. We see a woman calling the police, and the police are robots, and the lady points out in the talk show that the only people they have to call to help them are other robots. There's no even human police anymore, and the whole problem with the jobs on how having humans do these jobs is more expensive because robots are cheaper. Yeah, because humans will need food, rest, bathroom breaks, and that. She said that we see the police arrive, a robot comes out of the house covered in blood. They're all talking ones and zeros. And then they're like, there's no criminal anything here, silly humans, the robot cops. Are you motherfucker blind? Blind? Motherfucker, sorry. He's covered, I guess they don't register blood. Well, I suppose that family's murdered. Never mind. Right, Watson? He's so happy about the murders. Look at that face. I'm putting him to sleep in this one, aren't I? My little bugger. Right. So yes, we move on from that. We move on. Yes, I mentioned that. And then he says, maybe we should get rid of all humans. Or not, no, he says, well, what, the robot she's talking to, well, with everything, we've done. So what if a murder happens once in a while? Isn't it all worth it? And the lady just can't believe. She's like, whoa. And the talk show host says, all right, that's all the time we have for today. There's going to be a lot of backpedaling, and that's it. The talk show ends. Man, I don't remember the timeline now. When was what? So, just a bit okay, yeah. Between them talking, we see Orlando, then the talk show thing. Okay, yeah. All right, so after the talk show bit, we go back to right. Then we see Mrs. Walters. She's going into Inhuman Resources and talking about Razorball. Telling the robot there that he looks unstable, a Razorball, and the robot social worker says, "Has he ever hurt you or your family?" I always see one panel that shows I don't know, the Razorball grabbing the dad really harshly, and the wife and kids like hiding behind the couch, kind of. I don't understand if this actually, and the dad telling him, you're hurting me. I don't understand if this actually happened or it is just a bit of imagination. Because she answers no to the robot, but if Razorball did that, isn't that a yes? I'm starting to think the dad's just a traumatized victim. No wonder he's trying to appease the Razorball so much. Or at least supposedly. I don't know, it's not explained. I can't understand if this actually happened or she imagines it will happen. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, then we move on to Kilroy and Razorball walking down the street, still talking about the whole human thing. Kilroy, we should kill all of them. We should dominate. For that, they talk about how these mandroids are going to replace them all. And Razorball's like, maybe that's how the humans feel about us, that we replace them. And Kilroy's like, dude, you gotta get rid of that empathy chip. I can't hang out with you like this. And then he starts saying something to him, and then he goes, says the next part quietly. And Kilroy's like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, what? And then they turn and they see Mrs. Walters coming out of Inhuman Resources. And Kilroy's like, is that your human? Man, I feel so bad for Kilroy's human family if he has one. Those poor fuckers must be miserable. Although, if everyone's lucky, he doesn't have a family. I hope. Poor humans. Then they see her. And, that you're human, like, what does he tell him? He tells him, fuck. Not remembering dialogue bits. Yeah, it's like, I have to, and this is precisely why we need to rise up, Kilroy tells him. He's like, no, I need to try, and Razorball said, I need to try harder to be a better bot. I mean, what choice do I have? Okay, here's what I don't get here. Why does he not just move to another family? Is him being moved to another family will mean he failed and he'll be, I don't know, disabled or something? They'll turn him off, put him in the junkyard? What's the problem? If he's unhappy and robots control everything anyway, why just not move to another family he'll get along with better? Like, why keep being there where he's clearly unhappy? You see what I mean? Like, it seems like this issue has a very simple solution, but no one's, well, obviously we wouldn't have a story now, would we? But no one's thinking about it. Like, if anything, the wife and kids seem to understand that. But, he's unhappy there, but he's upset that he sees her there, thinking she's going to replace him. Dude, if you're that fucking miserable, just fucking leave. Why are you there? I just don't get it. Like, you control everything. Well, what's gonna happen? You know? Never mind. Then we move on to the house. We're back at the Walters' house. They're watching the telly. So we see some robot manipulator number hashtag 49 whatever won another Oscar for acting. Now keep in mind, these fuckers have faces like these, yeah? I don't know what kind of expressions you get from them, but whatever. It's the robot's world, I guess. Can you imagine watching a movie like that? I would laugh. Right, so they talk about that, and then breaking news. There's been a mass murder in Orlando Bubble City. So that robot I talked about before, the little head one that controls the atmosphere, that got complaints about the house, the haunted house atmosphere, air, I mean. Well, he did some changes and, well, murdered everyone in the city. The whole city, dead bodies. And obviously the robots don't really care. Mrs. Walters and the kids are watching this. They're like, oh no. And you see everyone's dead, and the robot head's gonna be taken into trial. His name is Headley. Okay. And so Headley's gonna be put on trial. And they say it's not yet clear if this was intentional murder or some kind of malfunction. Yeah. It's murder. It's murder. Yeah, like the mom and the kids are horrified, like, oh no, and then Razorball comes in, like, hello, I'm here, I'm going to try harder, don't replace me. And then he sees the news too, and his toolbox briefcase thing falls. I'm not even sure what the fuck he would carry to work. What? Bolts and some oil as a lunch? Because in the beginning, when he comes back home yesterday, when he came back home, the dad asked him if he wants him to start him a warm oil bath for him. Oh, never mind. Okay. And then he's like, Kilroy was right. It's starting. The uprise of robots. Which, again, is a bit stupid, because what do they have to rise up against? The humans are helpless. They can't fight them off, even if they start to. What could they do? They don't have weapons. And they have a bot in each house. Even if a family manages to overpower their robot, what will they do next? Where are they going to run to? They're all living in bubble cities, which apparently it'd be easy to kill them all. Just tweak the air supply and they're all fucking dead. Like, what can they do? What uprise, Kilroy? You twat? Then, yes, uprise. And then the dad comes out and he's holding what I assume is dinner. It's like, hi, Kilroy, I didn't know you were home early. How was work? And Kilroy's like, his eyes all shining in red. Not bad at all. Not bad, thanks for asking. And then that's it. To be continued. Yes, so that was issue 1 of Not All Robots. Let's get to the art. I would say I dig the cover. It's that famous painting, I think, where they're all having a Thanksgiving dinner. I don't even know what the original looks like. Alright, I know this is already almost a 2-year-old comic, but I don't know, probably less. But I'll only show you the first 3 pages. So here's the Bubble City. This is the Atlanta one. Oh, I forgot to say, man, I should have said that this is 56. So, not that far in the distant future, right? Yeah, I'm glad to see we learned nothing from Terminator. Like, why would you want robots all over in your house? I don't know, I would not let a fucker like that in. I would be too scared. I'd be like, nah, get this piece of shit out of here. I do not trust it. Fuck, I'm terrified of cars that drive themselves. No, thank you. Yeah, so here's Talking Bot, here's our human lady, here's the robot dude. And there he is, there's the factory, there's the destruction there. You see that the art style is pretty good. It's fine. I don't like how they cut the panels here, because it's kind of like the bleeding effect almost, where it goes like down to the next one, but it doesn't, and it's confusing because they just slice up the picture for some reason. Ah, yeah, there's a joke. The only job the robot can't do is be a hairdresser, because look at that. Really. Yes, you see how they cut it? I don't like that. Maybe it's a stylistic choice, or perhaps it's meant to... I don't know, that's how robots would see the images. Maybe that's why. But yeah, besides that little detail, the art's fine. I think it's good. The details seem to be pretty fine. It's a familiar art style. I think we had this in the Orchid House, too. Was it the Orchid House, that comic? I think it was the Orchid House. There's a similar art style. Yeah, it's done well here. Fine enough. I like the colors. Alright, now, so that was the art. Okay, good. Now for the story. I like the story. It is interesting. Normally we'd have the robots rising here and the humans against it. I do wonder if we're gonna see a rebel group or something. Have they collected all humans into these bubble cities? Or are there some humans that live outside of them? And if so, are they attempting to do something against the robots? Like if, I don't know, let's say in the story all humans are gonna be murdered in cities, then what? What would the robots do? Will they just start their own society and, I don't know, have people lower class then? I don't know. Would they just, I don't know, make new kind of robots so they'll be their prisoners? I'm very curious how this will continue. Now, since it took me so bloody long to read this, there's a trade, so I think I will pick up the trade next year, because I do want to see where the story goes. I think there's only one trade, so maybe it's a condensed story. Like, it's already all done, and there's not going to be any more. No volume 2, anyway. Could be wrong, though. I haven't checked. I mean, fuck, I finally got around to this one, yeah? But yes, it's a very interesting premise. Or it's already, they're all controlled by robots, there's been some kind of war or whatnot. And what's going to be, will the humans uprise against the robots? Or will they come to some kind of compromise? I don't know what they're gonna uprise with, though. Usually in these stories you have this rebel group of some sort that goes against whatever authoritarian or whatever rule there is normally in these dystopias, but here there really isn't one. At least not that we've seen yet. Or there'll be robots that think, I don't know, they should live peacefully alongside humans, or the humans should be able to work again. How does everything else work? What happens when you get married? And you move into your own house? Who's in government? Is there a robot government? Are there any governments left? Unclear. A lot of questions. That would be interesting to find out. But yeah, overall I enjoyed this one. I will pick up the trade, because I do want to know what happens here. And I also dig this cover. It's very cool. I like this color they did here for the hologram. Yes, so that's about it. I think if you enjoy sci-fi, futuristic, dystopian stories, I think you'll like this one. Definitely has promise in it. But we shall see. I will see if I like it when I read the full thing. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know what you thought of this one. Have you read it? Did you enjoy it? What did you think? And that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. And beware, remember what the Terminator taught us. Bye!